What's up, everybody? Matt Tobacco from SmokinTabacco.com here at TPE 2022 with coverage brought to you by Drew Estate. We are here at the Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust booth with none other than the man himself, Mr. Steve Saka. Steve, how are you?
Did you bring me any Drew Estate cigars since they're the sponsor?
I don't have any, but I'll tell you what, I'll sneak over there and I'll steal some stuff for you.
Could you do that for me? What's some of those fat bottom Bettys?
For you, Steve?
Yeah,
anything. I'll hook you up. Although, you know, arguably, we're smoking some fantastic cigars here. I have the Paladin Saka.
Yep. I'm smoking the Sober Mesa Brulee Blue.
Great cigar.
It's a morning cigar, you know?
Yeah.
It's morning.
I decided to come out of the gate a little hot, but I know that this...
How does that work? You start your day with a $30 cigar. Where do you go from there?
That's true. You already set the bar at the top.
Yeah, it's a day of disappointment now.
I know. You can only go down from there.
Here's the worst part, because you're here at the show. We're gonna do this for however long we do it, 10, 15 minutes, and then you're gonna have to go do it somewhere else. So it means you're gonna have to take the $30 cigar that you smoked maybe a half an inch or an inch of and throw it away.
Oh no, I'll finish the cigar. I will go to...
Oh, you have to go to other booths and they give you a cigar. You have to smoke. It's a courtesy. No. Come on, you do.
I try to.
So what did you want to talk about? I can just talk because I'm just,
I know. It's always a fun time when you get to talk to Steve Saka. It's just a walking encyclopedia. He tells it how it is.
Let's stop with the buttering. Let's go.
All right.
Ask a question.
So the big thing that came out of last year was Stillwell Star. That's what we saw at PCA last year.
Right.
How has that done for you so far now that it's out?
Okay, well, the answer is I have no clue because of all the delays. It really didn't make it in the marketplace until November, and what made it in the marketplace in November wasn't even the full initial shipment that was intended because we couldn't get the boxes done. So the other half of the first shipments actually should be in transit right now. No, next week. Next week it's in transit, week 1 of February. So we haven't even delivered the second half of the show orders, and we haven't delivered all the reorders and all the other accounts that didn't go to the show's orders. So right now, Stillwell Star is sold out for the next 6 months without us doing anything. But that doesn't give me an indication of how it's doing because you're in that new, and it's a really unique, weird cigar. Luxury pipe tobacco cigar, 4 different, pipe style experiences. So it kind of gets a lot of sampling because if you try the aromatic and you're like, oh, that's too sweet, and too this and too that ain't for me. You really got to try the other 3 because they all really are different. Mm-hmm. And odds of you liking all 4 are almost 0. Okay? The odds of you liking 1 is pretty high, I think, in that mix. I think everybody can find something that's a nice... Now, is it going to become your daily? No, but if you're looking for that kind of change of pace, different experience, get some Perique, some Latakia, some Turkish, some Izmir, all of these, types Kitsi and whatnot, these things that we don't get to experience as cigar smokers, it's kind of an interesting smoke. But long term, how it's going to sell, it's a big mystery to me because I don't even know if there's a customer for luxury pipe tobacco cigars. It's not like a category, Nobody ever walked into a retail shop and said, hey, I want a cigar with a little bit of stove red Virginia and a little bit of, I want a little bit of Latin there and just, I don't want, you know what I mean? It doesn't come out of their mouths. Nobody's ever asked for a cigar that way. So it's not like a guy comes and says, hey, I like a mild Connecticut shade cigar. Well, let me show you Sober Mesa Brulee. Right? Oh, I like a heavy Maduro cigar. Let me show you Mi Querida. You like it a little spicier or a little bit more smooth? You like it a little spicier, the red one's better for you. Know what I mean? There's a customer. There's no customer for Stillwell.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like it's a new area. It's a new market of the cigar industry.
It's just different. No one's ever... I mean, there have been pipe tobacco cigars in the past, but nobody's ever gone through the effort of actually working with the pipe tobacco factory, making custom blends, making them for the specific purpose of melding them into the cigars. I mean, I did more samples on this brand than I've ever done in anything remote. It was just so complex.
I found them to be interesting cigars. They're certainly different. The English, I think, was my favorite so far. We also, at Smokin Tabacco, I've been doing this a lot with my awards lately. I've been pulling audibles.
Right. Okay. Your award, you can do whatever the hell you want with them.
So I'm going to pull one right now. We actually have another award to give.
Oh, really?
Stillwell Star is going to be our most innovative product of 2021.
And you just decided this now?
No, it was our, no.
Damn, I did a sales pitch. Man, that was a slamming of a sales pitch.
No, it was already predetermined, but I waited till I was here with you to let you know.
Well, thank you. That's very kind of you.
Absolutely. No, because it really is. And like you said, it's not, there's been other pipe tobacco cigars, but nothing really quite as refined, yeah.
Right. No, I mean, this is legitimately, this is a $15, $16 cigar. It's legitimately that. Now, whether it's a good for you, you can only decide that. But it's definitely different than anything that's been on the shelf or is currently on the shelf. That it is.
It's definitely, in my mind, it's the most exciting product to really come out because it is so different and so unique. And, you know, honestly, if it goes well for you, it could start a whole new trend of premium cigars in the industry. It could really become like a whole new category of that really higher end pipe tobacco cigar.
Right. Yeah, it definitely could. We'll see.
And you know, you do have a reputation of dropping some pretty awesome innovations into the industry. So
yeah, I'm going to stop though. I've decided I'm just going to quit tomorrow. Retire. You know what? Go out on a high.
You know, you want to go out on top. You don't want to go out on the bottom.
Yeah, I definitely think.
So tell me a little bit more about Paladin Saka, though. I know that just kind of started shipping.
Yeah, Paladin Saka. Like with so many of the blends they make, often a year in later, after I've been smoking it for a whole year, just normal, not testing it, I always tend to go, I could have done this. So I've done it with Sober Mesa by adding the Elegante and the Short Churchill. I mean, it's the way it is with, you know, Tricky Traca getting added to Mi Querida. You know, just little Sober Mesa Blue on the Brulee. So it's kind of the same thing with Sin Compromiso. I love the Sin 5, but there were times I just wish it was just a little stronger. So I made a slightly stronger blend of Sin Compromiso. But the problem I was getting was in the soft press format, it was coming across a little bitter.
Okay.
So I was getting more strength, but I was kind of losing some of the smoothness. It was a little bitter. And that's when I decided to do a full prensado on it. And these are a very traditional, very firm style of trunk press compared to the soft press that I like to do. And that slowed the burn down a bit, and I got rid of the bitter nature. And then they're aged a full year before they're boxed. They're the best of the Sin Compromiso. You know, but you may prefer the regular Sin more because there is a flavor differential. And you're going to like the price on the regular one better too, because the regular one is $15 to like $18, I think, on average, where these are $30 a cigar. So
yeah, I mean, it smokes like a $30 cigar. It's a great cigar so far, really flavorful. I would say out of everything that you make, the Sin Compromiso is probably my favorite.
yeah.
I've always loved that cigar, that whole line. I've really always enjoyed it. Probably followed by the Tricky Traca. I really like the Tricky Traca. You know, and you do such a great job with your blends too. Really complex, really flavorful. There's really never really been a Dunbarton tobacco cigar that I've had that I was like, nah, it's just too one-dimensional. There's always plenty of character to the cigars.
You know, look, it's my job, right? My job is to make good blends. And the thing that I just adopted very early on is just to not listen to anybody. Just do what I think is right. Don't solicit for feedback, because it's just going to throw you off. I mean, if you're good at what you do, then why do you need the validation of others? All they're going to do is just drag you away from what you can create. And so by not worrying about who is going to buy my cigar or what I'm going to sell the cigar for, I'm just worried about, hey, let me make a cigar I like to smoke. And then let me figure out how much it costs to make that cigar. And then I have to say to myself, yeah, would I pay $12 for that? Yeah, I paid $12 for that. And then, okay, this is how this works. And then hope that consumers find something in the line that appeals to them. And, you know, one of the things that's really good for us, too, is we have a very diverse line. You know, if you go from Sober Mesa Brulee, there's a really top shelf Connecticut. You know what I mean? Going all the way up to like Western Saka and Stolen Valor is probably the strongest. Tricky Traca just being under it. And there's places for everybody to go, you know?
Yeah.
You know, if you like that Padron style, you know, type style cigar, Sin Compromiso is an excellent alternative for you to try, you know? Now, I know the Padron guys and the Oliva V guys, they're going to buy what they're buying. But, you know, this current generation that's, excuse me, you know, trying all the cigars, I think Sin is one to really pay attention to, you know.
So yeah.
But in the end, consumers gonna decide what my fate is.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, another thing that I wanted to mention while we had you here is you've also been known to do a couple of store exclusive and some micro blends. Like you've done some stuff with Abe, you've done some stuff with Ronnie with the Dunbarton that have been really popular. You know, last year's Great Smoke, the DTT EX38, fantastic cigar.
Thank you.
Do you see yourself?
78 this year's better actually.
I haven't had it yet. I'm really looking forward to trying that.
It's a totally different cigar. I mean, the 78 is using a wrapper that's coming out of a pilot crop. So, I mean, a wrapper that we started growing about 4 years ago. So it's an interesting project. And I think that's another thing that's really cool is I'm able to do a lot of things that a lot of other small manufacturers can't do, or brand owners, because I can get leaf grown, I can get special seeds planted, I can do all of those things, the buying and the sorting and the basic tobacco operations, that lets me have a special Cultivo Tonto wrapper on the Sin Compromise. So that lets me have the right Connecticut shade that bale ages out beautifully 4 years for the blue. It's a huge advantage, you know what I mean? And it also lets me make more interesting stuff.
So you have a lot more creative freedom.
Yeah, of course. The biggest limitation is you always have to worry about stealing your market share off your own shelf, because if I launch another brand, I mean, it's also part of why doing Stillwell, if you think about it, it doesn't take away from any of my other brands, right?
Right.
And so it's hard. Where is there room for another brand? How many brands is a retailer going to carry on their shelf? I mean, they only have so much space, and even regardless of how good any one brand does for your retail shop, you can't have everything. And that's something I always have to take into consideration.
So do you have anything else that you're working on for the rest of the year, or are you going to just kind of focus on the lines you have?
I have some things. I mean, I'm starting to get into that FSG tobacco. I have a couple. We're going to do a limited release of those JR50s, that blend, that original Mi Querida Black blend. A lot of people really regretted not getting that. It's really good. I looked at the tobacco inventories. I can maybe make 50 to 60,000 of those. I have things to do that. Not enough to do a launch, but it's enough to do a teaser, in the summer. There will be a Muestra Saka this year. It won't be Krakatoa. I'm just done with that cigar. I've been dinking and dunking with it for 2.5 years, and it still isn't right. So I have some other Muestra blends that I'm going to use for this year, and just go back to the drawing board on Krakatoa, because I can't get it the way I want it to be. But we'll see.
Well, Steve, I want to thank you for talking with us today. Really excited to see, kind of how the Stillwell Star continues, to perform as it gets out there more and more. And what else you have going on in the future. And we'll see you at PCA.
I will be there.
Well, we look forward to seeing you there. Guys, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more coverage from TPE 2022.